They say, I have doubts about faith. Suddenly I have doubts in Allah. I don't know if the unseen is real. I don't know if Jannah is real. I don't know if the stuff my parents have given to me is real, because you inherited it maybe, not like Sister Patty, who took Shahada and worked her way to this point. You just kind of had it given to you and you were told this is where it's supposed to be and this is what it's supposed to be. I don't know if I believe anymore. I don't know if I believe this. I don't know if I believe that. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you, first and foremost, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide you. No one asks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sincerely for guidance except that He guides them. No one comes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sincerely and asks Allah for guidance except that He guides them. That's why when Hamza radiallahu ta'ala anhu came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he told the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you know, when I kind of got into it with Abu Jahl, and I embraced Islam, I said, I am on the religion of my nephew. It was more it felt like it was more just to win the argument, to get in his face, to defend your honor, my honor. But ask Allah. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide you. Now here's the thing. There's a beautiful tie between the very beginning of the Quran here and the very end of the Quran. What's going to take you away from the straight path? Who's vested in trying to take you away from the straight path? Shaitan. And so what is the very last thing? قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ مَلِكِ النَّاسِ إِلَهِ النَّاسِ مِنْ شَرِّ الْوَسْوَاسِ الْخَنَّاسِ الَّذِي يُوَسْوِسُ فِي صُدُورِ النَّاسِ مِنَ الْجِنَّةِ وَالنَّاسِ. I seek refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord of people. I seek refuge in Him from the evil of man, the evil of jinn. The evilest of both of those two creations, the shaitan himself, who whispers into the hearts of people. Waswas khannas. And then he sinks away when he's failed and he plots another way to get to you, to divert you from your path. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to us to say, min al-jinnati wan-nas, from both the human beings and the jinn. Why? Because sometimes the voices of human shayateen are far more persuasive to you than the voices of the devils. Your friend at school, that person you're interacting with online, whoever it may be that starts putting those thoughts in your mind, that starts telling you certain things, sometimes they are stronger voices of diversion than even the shaitan himself. And here's the thing about the shaitan, and I said this a few nights ago, that the one who's led by desire no longer needs a devil to lead them astray. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has spoken to you through the Prophet ﷺ and given you the path to guidance, and then you took another path, you followed another path, and you're letting nafsin la tashba', a soul with just unlimited craving lead you astray, then at that point, you're just going and going and going and going. أَرَأَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَاهُ. People that are just led by their desires. They follow their desires. They worship their desires. Shaitan doesn't really need to monitor you too heavily anymore because you're gone already. You're not even walking in the right path. You've already taken that turn. But who does Shaitan really want to lead astray? Who does he want to get to? Shaitan is not going to wait on the destructive path. Shaitan is going to wait for you on the straight path. And that's why in Surah Al-A'raf, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, Shaitan says to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, بِمَا أَغْوَيْتَنِي. He blames Allah. Talk about not being self-accountable. You want to know what makes him such a pathetic being, the most repulsive being in history? How dare you, after Allah gave you the appearance and the rank of an angel and put you in that place in paradise, how dare you then turn around and say, you led me astray, because you led me astray. And I'm going to lead all of them astray. And on top of that, لَأَقْعُدَنَّ لَهُمْ صِرَاطَكَ الْمُسْتَقِيمِ. You know where I'm going to sit for them, where I'm going to be waiting for them, where I'm going to lay all these traps? On Sirat al-Mustaqim, on that straight path. I know that they're not going to be anywhere, that if they're there, they're already gone. I can maybe just nudge them every once in a while and kick them forward and they'll just destroy themselves further. But when they're trying to be on the straight path, Siratak al-Mustaqim, that's where they're going to find me waiting for them. I'm the guy that shows up and says, shoe shine, chocolate, Please don't punch someone in the face in the airport and say, Sheikh Omar said you're the shaitan. Maybe the Dead Sea Salt. No, just don't do that. No, I don't want to get quoted here. I get enough flack. But don't even punch the Zionist selling you Dead Sea Salt in the airport. Just tell them that this is occupied land. Shaitan's the one that comes and plants the traps and says, this way, this way, this way. Let me sell you this. Let me sell you this. Let me sell you this. And the Prophet ﷺ, he told us that the path to Jannah is filled with what? Hardships. Shaitan will try to lead you away from the path of Jannah with your desires or your difficulties. With your desires or your difficulties. His main point is, how do I get you off of this? How do I pull you away from this? Now here's the thing. Desires are natural, difficulties are inevitable. Allah tells us to have perspective in difficulty and desire and to discipline ourselves in both of those situations. But Shaitan is not interested in just trying to get you to taste a little bit more of that desire or suffer a little bit more in that difficulty. You see, Shaitan wants to poison your shahwa with shak, your desire with doubt, and poison your difficulty with doubt. How? He goes for the kill. He knows that when he's got an opening, he needs to take advantage of it, just like any good marketer. You're vulnerable right now. Let me tell you the most, and if you fall for 30% of it, then I've still got you away. So what does he come to you with your difficulty? Ayyub alayhi salam. Why would a merciful Lord do this to you? Not just you should stop praying, you should stop doing all these good things. Why would a Rabb do this to you? Because he wants to disconnect you from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala completely, sever you from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The pain is bad enough. Not just, man, this difficulty is terrible, don't even pray anymore. This hardship is terrible, No, why would Allah take your children? Why would Allah take your family? Why would Allah take your wealth? Why would Allah take your health? And then he goes to the people around who are also suffering from difficulty. لو علم الله في أيوب خيرا. If Allah knew of any good in Ayyub, he wouldn't have done this to him. What kind of Rabb, what kind of Lord does this to Ayyub alayhi salam? He goes for the kill, poisons the difficulty with doubt as well. Let me see if I can really make this doubt bad. Let me see if I can really take this difficulty and rank as high as I possibly can. The same thing with desire. The same thing with desire.